There was some technical problem. Are you getting my noise, madam?
Yes,
madam?
Okay. Yes.
So on behalf of Government E. Raghavendra Rao Postgraduate Science College, I welcome you all at the lecture series in biology. And today we have with us Dr. Seema Belorkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology and Bioinformatics, Atal Bihari Bajpayee Vishvvidyalaya, Bilaspur. And Dr. Seema is a well-known academician and she has a vast academic and research experience. She has more than 25 research papers published in prestigious journals of national and international repute. And she has completed 4 research projects and she has been honored with the Best Teacher Award by the university. And I extend a very warm welcome to you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, and now Dr. Seema will deliver a talk on functional foods. So we welcome you, madam.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Start your talk.
Yeah, I thank you to provide me the opportunity for this lecture. So I think I'll start now. You kindly confirm if you are able to see the screen. Is the presentation visible?
Yes, madam.
Okay.
It is visible, madam.
Okay. And my voice is clear?
Yes, madam.
Okay, ma'am. So let us start with today's lecture. Today's lecture is basically an interface between the routine food microbiology topic and its edge with the research which is going on in it. So rather it is a borderline for those students who are interested in research regarding foods or functional foods, which are very much talked about nowadays. So let us first understand what functional food is, which is the title of my lecture today. As you are able to see on the screen, that the main thrust or the main importance which is given on the cover slide is the gut. Now, I hope everybody knows what gut is. Gut is after the food gets digested in the stomach and when it passes through the intestine, this whole system of absorption of nutrients and assimilation of the nutrients by the body and which is mostly related to immune system is called as the gut health. So in today's scientific world, we are very much inclined towards the improvement of gut health, right? So what gut health is, as I told you, that when you try to cover all those ingredients in your food, which would finally improve the gut health of the host or the consumer, is coming under the umbrella of functional food, right? Conventionally, food was thought only to satisfy the satiety value of the consumer, the taste value of the consumer, and moreover, health conscious people were only limited towards the calorie counting of the particular food they consume. But now this term of food has revolutionized all the research activities because some of the, just a moment. Because the functional food which occurs is under the umbrella of right. What functional food is my voice clear? Hello?
Hello. Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you please continue.
Okay, sir. So the functional food is a term which is given to those food items which will not only help to improve the food value of your food, they not only improve the taste value of the food, but it gives the consumer many health benefits, right? So therefore, this term functional has been used as a prefix. So those foods which have a functional aspect also in the body of the consumer, apart from giving them normal taste and energy and calorie to the body of the consumer, are termed as functional foods, right? So I think this is the topic which we are going to discuss, and we will try to understand what actually this functional food is and which kind of food items can be brought under this umbrella term. So let us move on. The first thing, as I told you, to understand functional food, it is very important to first understand what is gut health. Gut, as I told you, is the part of the digestive system which receives, you can say, the chyme part of the food. Like when you chew the food, it becomes bolus. When it goes to the stomach, it becomes the chyme. And when the chyme enters the intestine, then comes the process of absorption of nutrients and assimilation, which is very, very important for the health of the host or the consumer, we can say here. So the consumer's immune system, maybe that most of you know this, that our ancestors used to say that 89% of the human health is directly related to your stomach or whatever you eat. So that is the thing which is actually being conversed in scientific language, that your gut health is the main health which controls all the immune functions of your immune system, and therefore expresses it in form of health. So if we now focus upon the type of food which we consume, it is indirectly having a good control over your gut, how healthy you are maintaining your gut, and in the same way that gut health will promote the overall health of the consumer. So that is the concept which we are going to understand in this lecture. So first of all, let us see what gut health is. As now you know what gut is, we are talking about the parts of digestive system. To be very precise, we are talking about the small intestine, the large intestine, and the colon, right? So gut health is nowadays, you can say, a popular term in health industry, and now we can call it as a health industry because most of the products in health industry are having a big demand, and 90% of them are probiotics and prebiotics. So now we are coming to the special term which we had now given a common denotation like functional foods. So basically functional foods in health market are coined under two types of categories. The first category is the prebiotics, and the second category is the probiotics, right? So the prebiotics and the probiotics are nothing but self-complementary to one another, if you would like to understand in that way. First of all, we will start with probiotics, so it will be easy to understand what prebiotics is. I hope most of the life sciences students know what probiotics is, because nowadays many of the products which are coming from Korea and Japan, they are being advertised in India also, and those products they have a very good explanatory material that probiotics are living organisms which help your gut to maintain a healthy condition inside, right? So what are probiotics basically, if we would like to define? Probiotics are a type of selected microorganisms, rather bacteria, which when ingested by the consumer, they help the gut to recover. First of all, if the consumer is having any illness, or it helps to reinstate the, we can say in normal language, the beneficial flora of the intestine. So such type of bacterial communities, when administered to the consumer in form of powders or in form of syrups, then these can reinstore or reinstate your gut microflora very nicely, right? So that is what is meant by probiotic. So in a broader concept, probiotics are nothing but beneficial bacteria when consumed in live condition by the consumer are called as probiotics, right? So let us come to probiotics in a little bit more detail. So the gut health is now we have established a relation between gut health and the beneficial bacteria or the probiotics, right? So we have, our lecture has come to a equation where we know that if the consumer is consuming probiotics, then it is destined to have a very good health of gut. So why this happens, or why is that digestion or ingestion of certain bacteria, which we have termed as good bacteria, reinstates the intestinal health? The reason is because those bacterial activities in the intestine, they generate certain kind of metabolites which are not available from normal food which the consumer consumes in daily routine, first of all. And second is those byproducts which are generated by the bacteria, they have multifunctional effects upon the consumer as compared to other foods which are consumed with beneficiaries. Like there may be some foods which are rich in vitamin, there may be some foods which are giving you good protein content, there might be certain foods which give you instant energy, but then probiotics is something which is coming after the ingestion of the food. Like it is making your whole intestinal system rejuvenated so that whatever the consumer is eating would be nicely assimilated by the intestine and would then be having a very good effect upon the immune system. So you can call it as an immune booster. It will help to boost up the capacity of the immune system of the consumer, right? So therefore, they are called as good bacteria. Now, good bacteria actually, apart from giving a good or a beneficial environment in the gut, it also has some very practical and physical implications on the consumer, like it is anti-inflammatory. For those persons who are having or suffering inflammations in stomach and intestine, as well as they also have an ability to eradicate infectious microorganisms if they are present in the intestine. So in intestinal infections, these bacteria have the effect of cleaning the intestine by just removing the harmful or the infectious bacteria present in the intestine, which are actually not supposed to be there in a normal healthy body of the consumer or the host, right? So now we come to the second term, which is linked to probiotics. So I think we are coming to a hierarchy of food. Like first is a normal consumer who is consuming a normal diet with a routine of the 6 nutrients which are essential for the normal body functioning, right? Then we came to probiotics. Probiotics, when administered to a consumer, is creating a very healthy environment in the gut and the intestine. So all the nutrient-rich food which is being consumed by the consumer can be nicely absorbed and assimilated, and therefore a very healthy implication on the body of the consumer is seen. Apart from that, we already studied that the probiotics also have an anti-inflammatory effect upon the intestine and stomach of the consumer. The next hierarchical step after probiotics is the prebiotics. Now the question comes that if a person is just consuming probiotics, right? Like in our traditional system, we don't have a need to take a probiotic supplement, because in Indian food, you know, like we always have a tradition of taking a cup of curd. So a cup of curd is the best example of probiotic, and because it is a very normal ingredient of human traditional what to say cuisines, therefore we don't have to work hard for getting a supplement for probiotic. Now this next part comes is when a consumer takes a probiotic, maybe that the health condition of the consumer is such that the probiotic is not able to survive or sustain in the gut of the consumer. So there comes a problem that every day you are taking a probiotic or what to say beneficial bacteria in your consumption, in your diet, but still the gut health is not improving. Under such conditions, we require a system, a backup system for those probiotics to be sustained in the host cell. And that probiotic system sustenance is brought by a second, the third level of foods. Those are called as prebiotics. So in my lecture, I would like to highlight these 3 hierarchical levels for a very healthy gut for the consumers. The first level is a normal balanced diet, which everybody eats. The second is a probiotic component, which can be a natural food. There is no need to take any supplement. And the third hierarchical level is the prebiotics. Now we come to a new term. The prebiotics are you can call small oligomers, especially carbohydrate in nature. They are oligosaccharides, and they are resistant to digestion in the stomach also and in the intestine also. So we can call prebiotics as short chain carbohydrate oligomers, which are resistant for digestion in the intestine, and they pass out of the consumer's body undigested. They remain undigested if organisms are not working upon them, right? So the prebiotics are they are available in form of plant components, edible components. They can be synthesized in laboratories, like much of the research is going on in synthesis of prebiotics. And these prebiotics are nothing but a food for probiotic. Or you can say that when you take probiotic, when any consumer takes probiotics, and as well as he is again supplemented with a prebiotic food, the prebiotic food acts as a food material for nutrition, as well as growth, as well as multiplication of the probiotic bacteria in the gut. So if a consumer is facing that, even though probiotic is being regularly consumed, but there is no improvisation in the health status or in the digestive ailments what the consumer is suffering, then prebiotics should be supplemented so that they can help the probiotic to sustain in the gut under normal condition, and the harmful bacteria will automatically be overpopulated by the good or the beneficial bacteria the consumer is administrating. So I hope till this point you have a clear notion about what a normal balanced diet is, what a probiotic is, and what a prebiotic. A normal balanced diet is required to perform all the basic level metabolic activities of the humans or the consumers. The probiotics is for an improvised digestive system environment, so that digestion, absorption, assimilation can take place very nicely, and hence you will get a very triggered immune system in the body of the host. And the third hierarchy is the prebiotics. The prebiotics are short chain compounds which are resistant to digestion in the stomach. They pass out undigested to the intestine, and in the intestine, they actually help the probiotics to flourish. And also they while the probiotic bacteria feed upon the prebiotics, they generate certain substances to be very specific. Butyrate is nowadays very much popular in research field, and butyrate has a lot of beneficial implications in the gut, in the intestine, and even on the different physiological parts of the human body functioning. So let's come to the next part. So now we have come to a point where the consumer is taking a balanced diet, taking a probiotic supplement and taking a prebiotic supplement. But we are very happy that in case of Indian cuisines, we don't have to take supplements, because, you know, prebiotics and probiotics are already there, very nicely camouflaged in different types of preparations in the Indian cuisine, right? So we will come to it that what are the natural eating components which act as a probiotic and a prebiotic, so that supplements are not to be dependent upon for a healthy gut nowadays, right? So as I told you, for probiotics, to maintain a healthy microbial population in your gut, the probiotics which you can depend upon is these are all non-Indian cuisines which are exemplified. Later on, we will come to Indian recipes which act as a probiotic food. That is, miso soup is there, sokrit is there, kimchi is there, kombucha is there, kefir is there, and pickled vegetables are there, which are mostly used in China as well as in Brazil. Okay, and these are some Indian foods which are very commonly used in our day-to-day life, and therefore we don't have to worry for any probiotic supplement. As I told you, the first in the hit list is the curd, which we already depend upon every time, every day in the meal. Apart from curd, rice is also helping in a probiotic environment of the body. Then green peas are there. Different types of garlics and onions also have a probiotic effect upon the intestine. So this is a video which I would like you to just understand, and this video is helping you to know the functions of probiotics. Okay, I let it run for 2 to 3 times and I'll explain you what this video is all about. The yellow colored organisms which are being swallowed, let it run once more. These organisms which are being swallowed, they go to the intestine, okay, through the stomach, and you see this is the microflora of the intestine of the consumer which is being shown. And there you see that suddenly the other microorganisms are decreasing and the yellow colored microorganisms are becoming overpopulated. So this is the thing which I had theoretically explained you, that once such beneficial organisms enter inside the intestine, they populate themselves nicely and they overpower the unwanted bacteria which, or the bad bacteria which are present in the intestine due to bad environment or bad kind of food selection, right? So I hope this is clear. So this video, short video or clipping is regarding how the prebiotic works inside the intestine and helps to overpopulate the harmful bacteria, and therefore it reinstates the beneficial bacteria in the gut, and therefore we say that it is the gut is on the way to regain its health. Okay. Now, these are some Indian dishes, as I already told you. Yogurt is one of it. Curd is actually the raw form of yogurt. Idli is one of a very good source of prebiotic. Then paneer is there, fermented soya bean is used in many parts of India. Green peas are very good sources, and fermented vegetables are also used nowadays. They are also very good source, right? Now we come to the third hierarchical level, that is the prebiotics. As I told you, prebiotics are substances. There is the basic difference between probiotic and prebiotic is that when we talk about probiotic, we are talking about living bacteria. But when we talk about prebiotics, they are edible short chain molecules. That is the concept which you must develop. So prebiotics are short chain oligosaccharides and they are carbohydrate in nature. And these prebiotics are present in desired amount in most of the natural vegetables which Indians use in form of salads. Like in onion, it has a very good percentage. In garlic, it has very good percentage. In cabbage, we have a good percentage of prebiotic fibers. You know, anything when you eat and you feel it to be slightly sweet, very slightly sweet, that will obviously contain a short chain oligosaccharide, and that will have an effect upon a prebiotic, influence upon the probiotic, like onion. Then apart from vegetable, you also can have honey. Honey is a very good source of prebiotics. Banana is a very good source of prebiotics. So banana is a very rich source of prebiotic rather. So all these components, all these edible components are very easily available. They are a part of our regular dietary schedule, and therefore they also have a prebiotic effect upon the body, although we are unaware while consuming it. This is the role of the prebiotic. Okay. Now, let us see what this video will help you to understand. The blue colored circular figure which is moving is the probiotic bacteria. First of all, that white column-like horizontal column which we are seeing is the gut, the intestinal gut. And in that gut, the blue colored short patches which are appearing are the oligosaccharides which the consumer has taken. And because they are non-digestible, they have entered into the intestine, okay? And in the intestine, now you see there are two types of microorganisms which are moving. One is a blue colored, which is the probiotic. And second is cream colored or off-white colored, which is the bad bacteria or the pathogenic bacteria. So in this case, this video helps you to understand that the probiotics, they feed upon the prebiotics. Okay, and see the size has become larger. That means they flourish using the prebiotic, they grow very nicely using the prebiotic, and then they are ready to consume the harmful bacteria in the intestine. Although this video is not showing the engulfment, but it overpowers the harmful bacteria in the intestine, and slowly, with passage of time and with regular intake of probiotic and prebiotic, you will see that the number of bad bacteria in the gut will decrease, and therefore a general health status of the consumer will go on improving. And now we come to which kind of foods are prebiotics. Now, prebiotics, as we have already taken this part, the general foods are vegetables, fruits, legumes, which have a good fibrous content and which are slightly sweet in nature. They have a very good content of prebiotics. And basically, onion and honey is one of a very good component to be considered in our daily diet regime, so that it compensates all the prebiotic requirements of our intestine. Yes, as I already told you, peas, garlic, honeys, berries, oats, all these, they are when taken in by the probiotic bacteria, they digest it, and during the process of intake of prebiotics by the probiotics, they release certain short chain fatty acids, as I have already mentioned, and those fat chain fatty acids are called as butyrates, right? Now, the butyrate production also has a very soothing effect upon the colon part of intestine. And nowadays, research has been targeted towards the influence of butyrate production in the intestine on the cancers, which are very common in the colon region. So the anti-cancerous effect is also being studied for the intake of the prebiotics by the consumer, right? So it has an ample advantage. Okay. So how can we get the most out of what you have consumed? So actually the probiotics, since they are living organisms, so mostly in foreign countries, you know, when the consumer is dependent upon the supplement, you have to take care of the supplement in form of that it is a type of living organism, and you have to keep it at a slightly low temperature so that they can be preserved nicely till the consumption by the consumer, right? But in case of Indian cuisines, it is not required because we generally take fresh curd as a daily regime, and therefore it doesn't require any refrigeration to conserve the probiotic effect of curd. But yes, those supplements which are given in the market, which are available in the market, they need to be taken care of because they contain a certain specific type of bacteria other than lactobacillus. Because if you consume curd, it is normal lactobacillus, but the supplements, they have well-designed probiotic bacteria, like they have bifidobacterium in it, and special strains of bifidobacterium, which are specially known to produce certain tagged products in the intestine. So naturally, such kind of probiotic marketed supplements should be taken care of, that they should be stored at a refrigerated temperature before consumption. Okay. And prebiotics, as you all know, that they don't have any living component, and they are just short fibers. So you can keep prebiotics as a normal food material, dry food material, as we store in our kitchens. Okay. And one more effect of probiotic is that initially, when the patients were infected by pathogenic organism. Now, the pathogenic organism was controlled. Even now, also the pathogenic organism is controlled by administrating antibiotic, right? So the antibiotics which are administered, they are not very specific, and with every pill which is consumed of an antibiotic, somewhere the consumer is hampering the gut microflora of itself, and the gut microorganisms are also affected by the presence of the antibiotic. They are not able to flourish properly. And therefore, after taking antibiotics, the consumers suffer a lot of side effects of the antibiotics and a total stomach upset also. So, and the digestion is also hampered. So all such kind of grievances which an antibiotic consumer is expressing, such can be handled with administering a probiotic supplement along with the antibiotic. And nowadays in the market, there are antibiotics which have within them a dose of lactobacilli along with the antibiotics. So supplemented probiotic supplemented antibiotics are also nowadays available in the market. So this has resolved the issue till a bigger extent, right? And it is also advisable that after a long treatment of antibiotic, the consumer should focus upon taking a very serious intakes of probiotics as well as prebiotics to reinstate the gut health, and therefore all the physical capacities would be reinstated. Now we come to the additional beneficial effects of probiotics and prebiotics. You see, the gut bacteria also helps to provide you vitamin K as an additional benefit to the package of healthy gut. So vitamin K and short chain fatty acids, as already I told you, are the two products which are very important for your intestine to maintain a healthy environment and for a proper absorption and assimilation function of the digestive system of the consumer, right? Apart from this, although it is not stated in the lecture, but prebiotics are nowadays gaining entirely different platforms of importance, and that is they are gaining a recognition of artificial sweeteners. Now, artificial sweeteners are actually substances which when you eat, when the consumer eats, the consumer feels the taste as sweet. But when it enters the system, the absorptive or the digestive system, it should not increase the sugar level. Therefore, they are called as artificial, right? Till now, till 2 to 3 years back, all the artificial sweeteners which were so-called proposed to be very healthy for diabetics had a side effect that they had an aspartame ingredient, and that aspartame had a effect upon the functioning of the heart, and after a long term usage of artificial sweeteners, the consumers reported severe heart attacks due to the side effect. So taking into consideration of this side effect of the artificial sweeteners, prebiotics are now proposed to be one of very fresh artificial sweetener source, because we have to go in a bit of biochemistry to understand this. As I told you, they are short chain of sugars. Like if fructose is used as a polymer in oligosaccharide, they will be called as fructo-oligosaccharide. If galactose is used as a monomer, then they will be called as galacto-oligosaccharide, and so on. So because they are sugars and they are short chain, whenever the consumer consumes it, the consumer feels or enjoys the sweet taste of that component. But since the bond present between these sugars are not normal bonds, therefore when it goes into the intestine, it is not digested. Therefore, we again and again say that they are indigestible. And when they pass on from the stomach to the intestine, now they are enjoyed by the probiotics, and therefore the gut also has a healthy complement for receiving the prebiotics component in the food of the consumer. So this is also a very good application that prebiotics are gaining a good recognition as artificial sweeteners for diabetics. And in that case, it is used as a supplement for taste, as well as since it is functional food, so it is conferring a lot of health benefits apart from giving a sweet taste to the consumer, which the consumer might be unaware of. These are some added advantages of functional foods, probiotics and prebiotics. As I told you, it helps to repair the inflammation tendency of the intestinal systems. It reduces the potential risk of cancers of intestine and colons. It also helps as a very strong barrier for viral multiplications and pathogenic bacterial multiplications in the system. And above all, it also has a nutritional value to the consumer, and therefore the cell lining of the gut also receives nutrition, as well as it receives a very healthy boost or a healthy a healthy trigger by the probiotics and prebiotics which are used by the consumers. And to conclude with, as we have given importance to good bacteria and good food like prebiotics and probiotics, we must also have knowledge about what do we actually mean by bad bacteria and bad food. All the food which are very high in sugar content, sugar in a sense sucrose content, or they are very high in fat content, when they are digested in the stomach, they release certain intermediates, metabolites or metabolic intermediates, we should call them. With these intermediates, they will pass on to the intestine, generate a imbalance in the normal pH of the intestine, and therefore this causes a havoc in the normal metabolism of the consumer while absorption and assimilation. So such kind of food which disturb the normal environmental balance inside the intestine are termed as bad food. Okay, and such kind of food, when they release such type of abnormal products in the intestine, somewhere they disturb the microflora of the intestine, and therefore the gut now shows a disturbed microflora, and which causes increase in those pathogens or those microorganisms which are not at all favorable for the health of the consumer, and those we term it as a bad bacteria or a bad gut bacteria. The harmful bacteria are also associated with higher BMIs, that is body mass index. Now, you know, BMI should be in tuning with what you are eating and how much is being metabolized into energy. So there's a BMI index which can be calculated, and most of you might be knowing because nowadays everybody is health conscious. So the higher BMI is also associated with the microbial gut health. So ultimately, all the bacteria which are present in the gut, the kind of food which you are consuming or which you are allowing to go inside your stomach and intestine, together have a synergistic effect upon the gut health. If the combination is good, if the type of food which you are taking and the supplements like probiotics and prebiotics, your gut will improve in its functioning, and therefore it will boost your immune system because they are directly related. And if the combination is on the negative side, that the type of food which is ingested is also not so very healthy or balanced, and this food after ingestion is promoting the growth of unwanted, undesirable bacteria, then the combination becomes bad, and the consumer will suffer with very low immunity, low energy levels, fatigue, and a lot of metabolic disorders which will accumulate together to form a kind of a disease or a symptom of a disease, right? As I already told you, in this slide, you can come to know about certain names of prebiotics which are generally used and probiotics which are generally used medically. Oligofructose, inulin, lactulose, resistant type of starch are few examples which are commercially available under the term of prebiotics. And bifidobacterium is one of a very popular industrial strain which is used as a probiotic. Other foods which can be tagged under prebiotics is galacto-oligosaccharides, trans-galacto-oligosaccharides, polydextrose, dextrin, which is available in wheat. Even wheat is also a very good source. Wheat flour is a very good source of prebiotics. Okay, banana, whole grain wheat. Most of the kind of grains which are rich in fiber, they do have one or another kind of prebiotic fiber, which is very much helpful to retain a healthy gut. So this was all regarding functional foods, and to conclude with is that functional food is a very in concept nowadays. And I suggest all my listeners and viewers of this lecture to incorporate natural forms of prebiotics and probiotics in the food, so that and you can enjoy your healthy gut and a health in coming days. Thank you all. Madam, you can unmute yourself. I will stop sharing.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, madam.
Yes, madam.
Thank you, Dr. Seema, for a very interesting lecture and for giving us the concept of pre and probiotics and their functions, their benefits to the matlab in a diseased condition, how they are beneficial to us, and how to fight the bad infections with uh, the help of these pro and prebiotics, and how they are available in the market. So you have given us the broad idea about all these functional foods.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
thank you very much, madam. And before that, madam, I will ask the audience if there are any queries.
Yes, sure.
Audience, please, if you have any query, you can ask Dr. Seema. Audience, I think there are no questions from the audience. So thank you, Seema madam, on behalf of the Government E. Raghavendra Rao College. I thank you very much for sparing your valuable time for us.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for giving opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am, for your nice and valuable informative lecture. Uh, I hope our audience will enjoy that.
Sure, sir. If I can get the feedback of my lecture once it is delivered on the portal, you can kindly transmit it to me.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. We'll provide you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
ma'am.
So shall I exit?
Yeah.
Okay.